Hello and welcome. This is Kristen with the Online Selling Show, and I'm here doing a multi-part series on what the differences are between selling in eBay and Amazon. And to give you an idea of my history, I have been an e-commerce seller for 22 years now. My first initial start of this 22 years ago was on the eBay platform. It was what was termed as being the Wild Wild West because there wasn't a lot of establishments and things, and it was just really, you had to kind of work it out yourself, truthfully. And then in about 2005, 2006, Amazon kind of started coming on the horizon. FBA was evolved in that time period, which is known as Fulfillment by Amazon. I got started with that in their beta program, and I'm not going to go into that because truthfully, I haven't been doing that for several years. I am not going to be in any way the authority on that. There is plenty of other YouTube channels out there dedicated to, their business models that are doing that every day. If you're questioning still what it is, it means Fulfillment by Amazon. And you just take a large box, and pack it with multiple units of the goods you're selling. You ship it off to the Amazon warehouses. And then as those units start selling, Amazon warehouse staff will pack the boxes and send it on to the end buyer. So I am what's known as a fulfillment by merchant seller. And what that means is it's pretty much the same as what happens on eBay. When somebody makes a purchase, those goods are in my warehouse. I send it to the end consumer the same as I would on eBay. And there's many reasons for that. I'm not really here to go into what all those reasons are, but I am giving you, because you're probably saying like, well, what does it have to do with me? I'm buying my goods at a thrift store, maybe doing retail arbitrage, eBay, estate sales. So I bring all this up because maybe there's some goods that you're getting and you're thinking, would I be better off listing this over there? Maybe I should cross list is another thing. And maybe you're also saying, well, you know what? Maybe I should get in a little bit of something from wholesale and try both. I'm just here to give you what my experience was and still is in dealing with these two marketplaces so that you can make an educated decision if any of that's going to be viable for you. So in part one, I went through some of what is the buyer's expectations of what and who you are and how you're going to sell to them. Part two was some of the other rules or some of the other obstacles you may face in just trying to get and be on the marketplace and selling, just general rules of selling. So today, what my thing is going to come up to be is now the sales are coming in and how you're going to be shipping to these buyers, because it is completely a different mentality in how you're handling them to both of these people. Me, because I'm selling new goods and I'm selling them in a volume, I buy regular, like standardized sized boxes from Uline, and I don't have I sell too much volume that I'm not going to try and go out and reuse packing supplies and stuff like that. So I'm just going to tell you that the buyer who's buying from, as I mentioned in the first part of this, the buyer on Amazon is really in their mind, most of them think they're buying from Amazon. So they're not expecting to get something that's in used packaging and used boxes and that type of thing. They're expecting it's coming in that box with the smiley face on it and a few packing pillows, because you know what? That's how they ship over there. So that's what they're expecting. Are they going to complain if they got a box that maybe was used once and it's still relatively looking good? I don't think so. I haven't had that, but I wouldn't send, and I'm going to be honest, this was a true thing that happened as a purchase, and this was an eBay. I got it in a Fruity Pebbles box of something I purchased, and it was wrapped in paper towels. Okay, that wouldn't even fly on eBay anymore, truthfully. But on Amazon, those buyers, like I said, they're expecting new. They're expecting it to be quick, their shipping. They want it there in 2 days at the most, and they don't expect to pay for it. That's just the reality. That's what Amazon has trained them to be, and that's what they want. Now on eBay, they don't mind if you used recycled boxes because they know they're buying from a hobby person, hobby seller. There's people that actually go out there and advertise that, they're going to be into selling and using repackaged goods. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but there's people that's part of their listing page is talking about like how green they are with what they recycle. People will use, shredded paper for packing supplies. I've had people reuse the plastic bags, the shopping bags, as part of their cushioning. And people aren't going to complain about that. They may not be happy about it, but they're not going to complain about it. So there's the differences in that is how much investment do you want to put into your packing and your packing supplies and your, presentation of it. That's a different thing to consider. One of the other things is the costs. Okay. Be a little bit to wrap your mind around because it did take a while, but Amazon does not allow you to tell the buyers how much they're going to pay for shipping. You don't have this calculated shipping thing like it's known on eBay. So let's talk about eBay first. eBay, as part of your listing, you can say, do you want to charge a flat fee? Do you want to charge free shipping? Or do you want to do calculated? And it's like, okay, well, I'm going to do $6 for flat rate. That's great. That's what you charge, and that's everybody. Free, everybody is free. Not no big deal. When you get into the calculated, so now let's say in my example from like the first episode, you're going to sell this blender. Now, the blender could be 3 pounds. So you can go in and you can tell it in the calculated that I got a 3 pound package. I've got a package that's 12 by 12 by 12. It's going to calculate that, hey, you live in Vermont and now this buyer wants to come on and shop and they're going to say, oh, here's what your shipping cost is because you live in Arizona, and it's going to calculate all that distance out, and it's going to say, okay, buyer, you need to pay $15.76 per se. And the buyer's going to get that right away in that quote of what they're going to do for purchasing. So you can get back so you're paying, let's say, $14 for it. There's a built-in handling fee, and there you go. You can get a little bit of extra money over and above. The buyer knows what they're paying, and that goes on and happens on eBay in that kind of process. Well, on Amazon, that's not how it works at all. Amazon is going to have one category of things. So you're either selling free, and that's it, or you're selling with what they give you as a shipping credit. And what that means is they don't expect that it's really going to cover all of your shipping. Most of the time, I don't care if I'm shipping in my same zip code. Whatever they give me for those pounds that are 1 pound and over aren't even going to cover in my own ship. It probably wouldn't even cover my gas to drive it down the street on some of these things, truthfully. So in my example of like the 3 pounds, they may say, okay, well, you're going to get a shipping credit of like $8.12. And that's it. If it costs you $15 to ship that package, you have to ship it because they do what they consider to be like a banding of price. So items that are between 2 and 3 pounds only get $8 and whatever I said, 12 cents or whatever it was. That's all they get. And they don't care that you're in Vermont and this buyer is all the way across the other side of the country. That's it. You can't refute it. If you try, you can cancel, but after you cancel so many, they're going to ding your account. So you have to understand and you have to be accepting of that. And their philosophy is, well, then you take your purchase price and factor that in as part of doing business, is that you have to understand that this is what they're charging, because to them, they don't want to have to build in any back algorithms that have to calculate the shipping so that it's different for this buyer than it's different for the buyer in Georgia per se. They want it all so that all buyers are reflecting and seeing the same thing, because part of it also becomes maybe the buyer lives in Arizona, but they want to ship it to Michigan. And until you get to the checkout point, you don't change and see where that shipping amount changes. Amazon doesn't want all that. And it has to do a lot with how they're handling their FBA model and stuff. So for them, when you're shipping by merchant, you need to just accept and understand that you're not really getting reimbursed or getting the full value of what you could be putting out for shipping on that. And some of the ways that people have tried to make workarounds on that, they've inflated the price on there and everything else. Inflated the weight of the item. It really doesn't matter. It's all going to get at some point changed and corrected. I mean, they're not stupid. They don't have 15 blenders by this company and they're all 3 pounds and then all of a sudden they have one that weighs 20. It just doesn't. Amazon algorithms, and they're always working to the buyers. That's the understanding you have to have, is that Amazon is always going to work to what is to the buyer's favor versus the seller's favor. That's just the reality of what it is. You can complain about it, but it doesn't matter. So shipping for them in regards to the expectation of what you're going to get as a seller, it's not going to get you your 99% of the time. It is not going to even cover it. It won't give you any excess for buying boxes and that kind of stuff. So that is that. But then you have to get into, now you have to deal with the handling times. And eBay will give you a lot more leniency. You can pick, maybe you only want to ship twice a week, so you want to say you have a 4-day handling time. I'm going to tell you from what I looked at on Amazon, it's either same day or 1 day. That was it. So you can't think that you're going to ship, like Tuesdays and Saturdays. It's just like not going to work. Again, I told you the buyers on Amazon, they want that stuff within 2 days. Matter of fact, they want it yesterday. So they're not really willing to wait. And I'm going to tell you the other thing, and I'm going to end this video after that, is that when you're doing sales on eBay, you can put in there, let's say if you're going to sell multiples of something, you can put in there to sell like the first one with $4 shipping and $2 for the additional one. When there's multiple purchases from people, you can go in there and you can make multiple choices, meaning you can say, okay, well, the standard, is free, but if you want to charge an extra $4, you can get it for priority. They have some of that over on Amazon, but truthfully, they don't give you these bulk, like, shipping. You have to really finagle in their shipping templates. You will have to play around with what they call their ASINs, which is their listing ID number or whatever. So you do have to do some finessing if you think you're going to do any more changes on your shipping for over there. eBay, like I said, you can very quickly and easily change what you want to do. Maybe you want to do free shipping on something else, but a flat rate on something else. Amazon is more dealing with a template, and they're going to make it more hard. Like, you're really going to have to dig into each listing as you're doing it to change different settings. And like I said, the bulk buying where they're buying more than one item, I didn't find that to be like where you could really provide like a discount for them when they're buying multiple items from you, whether it's all in the same or in multiple different types of products for you. So I just went to a free shipping model because it just became so cumbersome for me trying to figure out how to work all of that it was easier for me. And I'm dealing with lightweight stuff. So it was much more easy for me to just say, okay, these items are going to be $5 to ship, add $5 onto the sale price, and just move on. So that's the model I went over there because it was more difficult. Truthfully, I am not selling like any of my used goods. Anything I'm getting thrifting or anything is not going on Amazon Marketplace. I think you're probably feeling or picking up on that theme in this, examples of what I'm giving you through all these different parts and pieces. I still have at least one more video coming up, which is talking about the money of this. So check in for when that next one comes up, and I will catch you on the next one. See you for now.